The GCC region is becoming one of the world's foremost hubs for financial technology. Joining me today in Bahrain is Andrew Sims, Chief Executive Officer of NEC Payments. Thanks so much for joining us. How is the conference so far?
Very good. We've just participated in a panel around innovative technology and platforms for competitiveness, which is a subject that's at the centre of what we're trying to do here in Bahrain.
Excellent. So tell us more about your core business.
So NEC Payments is a technical startup. We would class ourselves as a fintech. We were formed here in 2014, and we're developing a transaction processing platform from the ground up to provide greater performance, efficiency and security for card and mobile payment processing products.
So is the infrastructure in the GCC developed enough to welcome your type of offering?
Well, there's a very established financial services infrastructure here, and all of the products that you would find in much more established markets are here in Bahrain and in the GCC region and have been for some time. In some ways, the market's further ahead than more major markets. If you consider EMV chip and PIN processing, as it's known for card payments, it's been rolled out and deployed here in the GCC region for some time.
Okay.
Whereas the largest market in the world, in the US, it's still playing catch up and it's being rolled out right now.
Excellent.
Now, in some ways, that established nature of the sector is a very good thing, but in other ways, it can be a drawback as well, because you tend to find that the more established that a marketplace is, then the slower they are to react to change and to adopt new technologies. And so we see outside of this region, emerging markets like Africa and Asia are adopting new and more innovative technologies more quickly. And so for us as an organisation, it's about finding a balance between brand new technology that delivers new products and new services and applying a new approach to established services that banks and financial institutions are already using, like credit card and debit card and prepaid card processing.
So is it a matter of making the best out of the local human capital in terms of training and perhaps retaining of intelligence here?
We're very lucky, and one of the reasons why we came to Bahrain and set up in Bahrain is that there's a very strong legacy of financial services and IT in Bahrain. It was certainly the most developed financial services hub for a long time before some of the other markets here in the region grew very quickly. And as a result of that, and also I think the efforts that the Bahraini government are making through organisations like Economic Development Board and Tamkeen to support growth in human capital, then it's a very strong opportunity for us. The Bahraini workforce are very skilled and willing, and there's a whole new generation that's coming through the universities now that are very IT savvy and very IT focused. I think possibly what's missing is subject matter knowledge, particularly in more recent innovations such as cloud computing that will drive growth very rapidly from this point forward in time. But again, the government through EDB and through Tamkeen are providing organisations like us with support that enables us to take on raw Bahrain talent and provide them with the subject matter knowledge that they need.
Do you have much competition here in Bahrain?
We have competition, but the competition is very established.
Okay.
And so they're companies that have been here for 5, 10 years, sometimes longer, doing pretty much the same thing in the same flavours.
Is it hard to access the business in terms of standards or required, any other financially or any other type of standard?
Well, here in Bahrain, organisations like us are regulated by the Central Bank of Bahrain, which is something that's not necessarily true in other countries and in other regions. And so that does set the benchmark high for us in terms of the standards of corporate governance and risk management and security and processes and procedures that we as an organisation need to demonstrate to the regulator. Now that can be viewed as a negative because it requires us to maintain a layer of management expertise that an organisation like us, being to all intents and purposes an IT development company, would normally not need to maintain. But there's a light in every cloud, as they say, and in this scenario, the light for us is very much that it provides us with a stable platform for growth, so that we know that we have a robust foundation to the business in terms of our finances and in terms of our operational processes and procedures, and that gives us, and also I would hope our customers, some comfort in our ability to actually grow the business quickly as we onboard new customers.
Okay, what are the other challenges that a player wants to getting this market here in Bahrain may encounter?
I think the biggest obstacle is regulation. So as I just explained, the regulatory framework here in Bahrain is different to other countries, certainly around the world, if not in this region. And that creates a very real challenge for us in terms of minimum capital requirements and in terms of the compliance framework that I just mentioned in my last slide.
Is cybersecurity a particular concern for the GCC? And if so, how do you make your clients feel safe about it?
Well, I think cybersecurity is a concern for everybody, and quite rightly so. There is a global trend towards technology being leveraged by criminals and people with, I would say, bad intent to cause damage to large institutions and to profit from that financially. And so, especially an organisation like us that not only handles customer data, but also processes and authorises financial transactions, then security is obviously at the absolute centre of everything that we do.
Thank you very much for joining us today.
My pleasure.
Thank you.